This is Justin Howell. I am the chair of the council. We're going to go ahead and get started. I apologize for the faulty link. I'm glad that everybody could get the new link and join us. We'll probably have some more people joining us shortly. We have enough members of the council for a quorum, so we will go ahead and proceed with the agenda. I would like to excuse Arlene from the meeting. We have a couple others that have been excused as well. Okay. So the first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from March 17th. Does anyone have any questions or changes regarding the March 17th minutes? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands.
Shelley might have something. Oh, we're still waiting on captions, it looks like.
Captions are in the chat box. If you click on the link in the chat box. Hang on, Martin, hang on.
No.
This is Martin. I move that we approve the minutes from last month's meeting.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
This is Katie. I second that motion.
Thank you, Katie. All in favor of approving the March minutes, please raise your hand. Any opposed to approving the minutes? Okay. Okay, so it looks like we have 1 opposition and 8 for approval. So the motion is passed to approve the minutes from March.
Justin, can you
Yes.
say who opposed for the notes? I didn't catch that. Or were there no no's?
I believe it was Chip Royce.
Okay.
That was a delayed reaction. My virtual hand was being raised
Okay.
for approval.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, my apologies. So we have a unanimous approval of the minutes. Okay. So okay, so that's all the voting we need at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and request everybody to turn their video off. And when you have a question or a comment, you can turn your video back on and it'll make it much easier for me to spot who I need to highlight. Okay. Next on the agenda is a reminder that we need the final nominations for the chair and co-chair position by the end of the month. Currently, we have a nomination for each position. If anyone else would like to volunteer or make a nomination, please send that to me through an email or phone call. Let me know if you need my contact information. The next item on the agenda is I should mention we will be voting on the nominations for chair and vice chair in the June advisory council meeting. I do have an item of discussion for the council regarding we have 3 individuals that are interested in the deafblind that are interested in joining the council. The executive committee has reviewed each of these applicants and feel that all 3 are very good applicants and would certainly make great additions to the council. The thing we could not decide on is how many deafblind members do we want to include on the council. The reason for that is we're in June, or I'm sorry, in July, when the new year starts, we will have 10 members of the council. So we can easily add all 3 of the deafblind members or just 1 or 2 of them. We do still need 1 member, a new member that would be a representative of the Hearing Loss Association of America. So my question to the council is, do we want to, the advisory council will present all 3 of these applicants to the entire council. What I need to know for next month when we vote on them is how many of these individuals do we want on the council? Do we want 1, do we want 2, or do we want 3?
Justin, are you opening that up right now for discussion, or?
I am.
Okay, can we talk about what are the, I mean, it would be great to invite all 3 of them. Are there any cons to that?
If we have all 3 members join, that would bring us up to 13. We're required to have between 9 and 15 members. So the only con that we really see to it is that the deafblind community is very small. And if we have all 3 members for 2 terms, then based on the how the bylaws are currently outlined, that's 3 individuals that will not be available sometime down the road unless we change those bylaws. Did that answer your question, Amy?
Yes, yep, that's a good con.
Okay, we'll go to Sarah next.
Yeah, I was just going to mention so if we still need a hearing loss association, and I did kind of a matrix for Justin because it was driving me nuts to kind of see how many people we have as compared to the membership, and we really do have good representation right now according to the bylaws. We have 4 of our 7 deaf and hard of hearing members are deaf. Right now, the requirement to be deaf or hard of hearing is not split out in the bylaws. It is blended together. But I added that up just to kind of see where we were with that. We have several members who are community reps now. We have a couple parents of individuals, of family members who are deaf and hard of hearing. So it basically would kind of bring us up to full membership, which is not a bad thing by any means. So, that was the only thing, is if we want to have any other of the groups that are represented. Otherwise, you do really have some good representation. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
Any other questions or comments on the subject?
Looks like Stephen has a comment.
Okay, Stephen.
Hello. So 1 of 3 deafblind applicants. So I'm concerned if we accept all 3, it may be difficult for the 3 of them for transportation and make it difficult to attend meetings in person. a deaf-blind person. I know one lives up north, up in, I believe maybe 2 of them are up north, and another one from far up north. So transportation may be an issue. So I wonder if they could do it virtually through Zoom or other technology means. That way they don't have to worry about transportation to and from the meeting. I know one of them, a gentleman by the name of Kurt Radford, who lives up in Logan, and it's a 2-hour commute from home to here. So he doesn't come here often. He comes every now and again, but these 3 deaf-blind do rely on someone else to transport them, and there's not a lot of options for transportation. So you just have to keep that in mind, that maybe it may need to happen virtually.
Thank you, Stephen. That is a good point. I'd like to ask Sarah Brenna, any word from the state on when we would expect to have in-person council meetings again?
I think by the summer it could be an option, but we can absolutely, well, we can try to accommodate. Zoom is not always, well, it's interesting. I don't quite know how to do Zoom in person and with people on Zoom and then in the same room. I'd have to defer to someone who uses Zoom more, but we are willing to accommodate if it's possible. Absolutely. I just don't know how to do it off the top of my head. I don't know. Michelle, I always look to Michelle because she uses it a lot. Anyone else know how difficult that is or easy?
This is Michelle. Yes, we do that all the time. It's not always perfect. It's not ideal, but we do have a group with an interpreter there, and then you have an interpreter on Zoom as well, so they could see both. That's what I would suggest.
Thank you.
But we can make it work.
Great. So I don't think there's any restrictions in terms of us and providing that accommodation.
Sarah, just 1 second. I think we need to spotlight the interpreter. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, no problem with that then. It sounds like it's possible and not a barrier if that's the issue. I did want to add that we only have one. I wanted to bring up the geographic location. We are, trying to be kind of diverse. We have 1 person in Davis County. We have 2 people now in Utah County from my math of people who will be starting now or after July. And then we have 1 St. George. That's our VR counselor, Brad. So that's the other thing, is it would be nice to get some more geographic representation. But like I said, we're meeting all the requirements of the bylaws at this moment, except for the replacements we need in the Hearing Loss Association representative. And
Joe Effrick, did you have a question or comment?
No.
Okay. May I ask you to turn off your video, and when you do have a question or comment, turn it back on? Thank you. We'll go to Stephen.
So just a clarifying question. So before we had Zoom, currently people can watch from home. But if somebody lives in Logan, how can they watch? What technology can they use to watch from Logan if they were in a different geographical location?
Zoom.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, this is Justin. Stephen, that's a very good question. In the past, we have attempted to use different types of video conferencing with Kurt and other individuals in Logan. They have not always been successful. I think that is something that DSDHH does need to work on for our council meetings.
We'll make it work, is all I typed in. Sorry, I was trying to be quick. Yeah, we might have to experiment a little bit. We'll do our best to make it work.
All right, let's see. Stephen?
Sorry, I keep asking, but I'm wondering if it's possible to mirror some other states in having people who can do transportation for the deafblind after
Through Uber or Lyft.
Uber or Lyft, or having some sort of agreement arranged, or if that's a problem, but to help people get to and from meetings from home.
That is something that both DSDHH and the Department of Workforce Services will need to look into for budgeting. That is certainly something that can be discussed and explored.
And we can do that. We absolutely can. There's so many changes happening with transportation, and if we need to accommodate, we'll find a way to do it, and we'll figure something out. I don't know that I can commit to one form or another right at the moment, but we'll absolutely keep doing the best we can to accommodate people if they don't live along the Wasatch Front, or even if they do.
Any other questions or comments?
So one thing I've been thinking, well, we have to hire 3 SSPs, SPP, I'm trying to remember what that is, the special, we have to get 3 people for the deafblind if they need it. I don't know like their vision loss or any of that, but just another consideration to think about.
I would say we don't want to consider that. I want to just consider we will provide accommodations to anyone. If you decide that you want the 3, then we'll make it work.
And Kim's still saying, yeah, really that was my whole point, was just having full accessibility. So just wanting to make sure that we're considering what's needed. And so, thank you, Kim, for mentioning that. I don't know if you know much about the SSP program and their policies. Interpreters and SSPs have different roles. So their responsibilities are through sight and hearing for interpreters. So for an SSPs are to assist a deafblind person with some other things, but interpreters are for communication exchanges only. So, and SSPs are limited to 10 hours a week. In other words, 40 hours a month. So if a deafblind person were to come with their SSP and potentially have a 2-hour meeting plus transportation, that could eat up 4 hours of their week and only leave them with 6 hours of those services for their other needs, for grocery shopping or doctors or dental needs or other things. So their services are very limited. Kim, wow, I learned something new. Okay, that really is a problem for the for your community. I was thinking about communication access for the 3 new potential members to join advisory council. Just making sure they had full access. That was all I was trying to say, but I was mistaken in whatever SSPs do. I apologize. I didn't mean for that to be the case. So. No, we're all learning, and I know deaf, blind people, not everyone understands SSPs and the program and all of that. So I understand. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. I learned something new. So thanks.
Use context to navigate, press up or down arrow, microphone left arrow, HD web, leaving menus, settings.
Someone's
like the different microphone volume, Zoom meeting. If you cannot hear your voice.
Someone needs to check their microphone. Any other questions
I
or
just
comments?
So it should stop getting that message, but it's
Any other questions or comments? Okay. So it sounds like the council is open to having all 3 deafblind individuals join the council. So what I will do is email all the bios and resumes of all 3 individuals to the council, and the council can review them and ask any questions. And we will vote next month on whether to approve these individuals to be forwarded to Sarah Brenna and her boss. Okay. The next item on the agenda is Dsdhh updates. Trenton, would you like to start?
Sure.
Hang on, or okay, Stephen. Stephen?
Why don't we have Sarah maybe take that issue of like transportation and all of that stuff to her bosses and maybe talk about some different ways? I don't think it can hurt to start that with the higher ups at DWS, so we can start working on making that happen.
I think I can make that decision, Stephen, and we'll work with the members that are nominated, and we'll just work with them individually and see what they need, okay? And then we'll work out a good solution for them. Okay, but thank you for bringing it up because it is, I'd like to be able to accommodate that, so thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
All right, we're gonna go to Trenton.
Okay, yes, this is Trenton here. Justin, thank you for inviting me to talk about a few things. Just so you know, we have 3 people here from our staff that will share a little bit about our different programs. The third will also have some information. Annette will briefly comment as well. So there's myself, Adam, and then Annette. So right now, yes, we're working on training with Melanie. Just looks like she popped on. So Melanie as co-host. Sarah, can you let Melanie co-host so that she can share all 3 of our PowerPoints?
I think Justin needs to do that.
Yeah, whoever needs to.
Okay, let me look here. Oops.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I see she is. Okay, Melanie, can you share that screen, please? So I just want to just kind of briefly summarize some of the different parts of our program with UIP. UIP itself is, I'm sure most of you know, but you may not all know everything we do, but you may be familiar with Utah Interpreter Program in general. So I thought, I think for the opportunity to kind of share some more information about who we are and what we do. Okay, next, Melanie. All right, so if you read the Dsdhh Mission, I'll give people a minute to read. Okay, so really I wanted to let you know this is the overall mission for Dsdhh, and UIP supports many of those things in different ways. Our core values and beliefs really are to provide inclusive and complete access and diversity. How that looks like, how that happens, we are very broad in the community that we serve. So, clearly direct one-on-one and interpreting services that we do. We're a resource for people to ask how things work, what the certification process looks like, what it requires, and to be able to provide information and explain those things. We provide testing from development and creation of the tests, as well as training resources, so that the community has access to hosting everything from certification testing and workshops, as well as qualifying interpreters. So often, we'll have doctors' offices calling us, and we can get into what the ADA law looks like for providing interpreters and things like that. So we often try to educate the community as well. Pro bono, again, as interpreters, we have our own network ourselves, so we can see when situations arise and be able to spread the word and do some outreach to maybe find somebody who can volunteer for some different situations as well. So ongoing list of the things that we do. And then UIP also has our other areas that we focus on. So if you can go to the next slide. So interestingly, I've worked here at UIP for many years, obviously as a direct service provider myself, as a CDI, doing interpreting, and then also mentoring and many other roles. But there still is a whole other side of UIP that I knew very little about until I became the new program manager. And then it was like, oh, wow, now I'm seeing the whole other side of this world in what UIP does. So I would like to share, I'm happy to share that all with you as well. Of these 4 areas, I'll focus a little in on each of these. So I'll let you read that really quickly as well. So this honestly just barely scratches the surface of what we do. I tried to get some things in there to show the broad range of everything from direct interpreting, providing service, to scheduling, interacting with people who have questions, answering things, emergencies that come up within the last year. That I think has increased about 1,000% in what we do from here at UIP. And then providing testing and test development, and doing voiceover, which is another interesting thing. In our strategic plan and our goals, Dsdhh has been producing a lot more videos and vlogs to be more visually accessible. So then UIP staff end up being used to provide the voiceover talent. So it's always been interesting for those. It's been a new procedure for a lot of things, and we currently have 2 staff vacancies. 3 are staff. 1 is an interpreter seated on the panel, and then we have 2 interpreters that are interviewing as well. So yeah, we have a lot of internship opportunities for students around the state. We have a lot that we provide. So, and then test proctors as well. So we have strong involvement with deafblind interpreting as well. And so that's another thing, we're working on our skills with pro-tactile services as well. So going to interpret for camp events and throughout, one thing that our staff interpreters, Clay especially, is a great cook. So he's always volunteering to cook for us for different events. Those who used to be in ICANN are familiar with Clay's skill, and our staff knows this as well. So, so we have a lot of talent within our staff. So another area of focus is administrative function, and that was the part that was new to me personally. So there are 3 of us involved here in the admin roles: the manager and then 2 certification assistants. The reason is all of the interpreters in the state must be recognized by UIP. So that requires a lot of administration work, keeping track, making sure all people's certifications are renewed and up to speed, their professional development, the continuing education, CEH and CEUs are tracked and make sure that they're meeting all of their requirements to keep certifications active, the annual fees are paid, and that access to their accounts, interpreters, we need to be able to see out, they need to be able to see all of their information, make sure all of their CEHs and things are happening within their cycle, that they have enough professional development CEH hours to keep their certification, or if it's going to lapse. If a novice interpreter lapses, they can they still advance their certification level? They can't, and all of those types of things. So it's very complicated with a lot of moving things behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. So for the administrative functions, we also handle some grievances when community members have an interpreter that they're not satisfied with. They can file a grievance and a complaint. And so obviously there are a lot of things within the certification system that we're dealing with. For example, within the national system of RID, grievances can go there, and we have some control over that, but not full control if they go through RID. So a lot will depend on what kind of certification the person has and what type of grievance is being filed. And then there's an appeal system as well with those grievances. So we also, support a lot of people who, want to sign up for testing and find out what requirements are. And so we do a lot of providing of information as well. Requirements within the state for interpreters here, as well as out-of-state interpreters. I don't know if many of you realize, but Utah and Utah Interpreter Program recognizes over 500 interpreters here in our state. So monitoring each of those, their cycles, their professional development requirements. So it's over 500 interpreters, and that's 90% of what we do is for people in state, but then there are some people out of state as well that are recognized by Utah and UIP. As far as like VRI requirements and things like that, those are some administrative functions as well. A second area, so that's the second area of focus. And our third area of focus.
Crystal, I'm up.
Here with regulatory.
Okay. So as far as the laws and policies and regulations, that's our regulatory responsibilities. In Utah, we're very fortunate that we've had a law since the mid 90s, I believe 94, 95, that requires all sign language interpreters to be certified in order to interpret, which is a great thing for our community. So the state has requirements. Now, who's responsible to monitor that and to make sure that the law is being followed? And that is under our purview. So we see that as its own unique area of focus under the UIP. Most of this we do in conjunction with Interpreter Certification Board. And same thing as what you do as an advisory council. We have something similar with the Interpreter Certification Board, that they guide and help us, lead us through processes, any concerns that the community has, any issues amongst interpreters, they come to us through this board, the ICB. And we have multiple members. We have stakeholders that are part of this board. We have working interpreters. We have interpreter instructors. We have agency owners. Could be deaf community members, hard of hearing members, different state agencies or local agencies that work closely with interpreters. The State Board of Education has a representative there. The Board of Regents also has a representative on this Interpreter Certification Board. Utah Interpreter Program has a representative as well that sits on the board. So we have several representatives that bring different views and perspectives and knowledge of what's happening in the state. Any new changes in policy or issues are brought to this board for their consideration, and look for their support. And they also, this group, we use if there are any sort of grievances that come up or any appeals, we call on the board. We have an ad hoc committee that addresses these issues as they come up, and look to them to consider these issues, which is really helpful in complying with our rules. Our fourth area, which is another area of focus for us, is testing. And it says it offers 3 certification exams. This is another huge responsibility for the Utah Interpreter Program. If you recall, in the mid-90s, the legislature passed the certification requirement, that law that I just mentioned, that all interpreters must be certified. Again, we wanted to make sure that people are complying with the law. And one way to do that is having access to local testing opportunities, and not just external opportunities and sources, such as the national RID. For the last 5 years, RID has had their deaf certification testing on hold, and it hasn't been available. So we've had this for years, for a long time. We've had our own certification testing process. So at this time, we're focusing on 3 different certification tests. First is the novice level, which is a time-limited certification. As a novice, we recognize them as an interpreter, as a new entry-level interpreter, and we give them time to develop their skills. But we do have an expectation that they will have a minimum standard of skills. And that's for the novice level, where we say, yes, you are certified, but we need you to increase your skills to start working. And we expect you to continue to work on and improve your skills. We don't expect you to remain at the entry level, novice level for a long period of time. They have a period of 4 years in which to advance their certification to either professional level, or they can gain national certification within that 4 years after receiving their novice certification. So they continue working in the field. We also have, second is the professional level test. And then third, we have created our own in-state certification for deaf interpreters. So the CDI test, which was opened up last year. So that becomes an option. They can take either the national or local test for hearing interpreters, as well as the deaf interpreters. So those are 3 certifications we are offering testing for. All 3 do have, it's a 2-step process, and both have requirements that you must pass a knowledge exam as well as performance exam. So they're a knowledge of the interpreting field as far as ethics and that sort of thing, and that you have the skills to handle yourself in different situations. So again, that is something that we are responsible for. And within this testing, we also need raters to score the testing. So we have a team of raters who observe and rate the tests of the interpreter's work. So they have their own trainings. They are required to analyze the data, do comparisons to make sure their work is consistent and for validity and reliability of the test. So it's a very interesting and complex process, but these are our 4 major focuses that we are working on within our division. Okay, moving on. Can advance the slide. This is fine. It gives the interpreter a chance to breathe. Let's see. Oh, maybe it was the last slide. No, there should be more. I believe there should be 2 more slides, Melanie. Yeah, that's the one. Perfect. There we go. Thank you. So there should be one more as well. So UIP is based, really, we serve the entire state of Utah. We have a presence in both the northern and southern centers. Our southern center, we are utilizing and working with Kelly Bunting. She's working part-time as a UIP representative. She does a lot of work for the Southern Center staff and for the Southern Utah deaf community. She also helps as a proctor for the knowledge exam. It is offered in the Southern Center. So for all day appointments, she will have work with Shauna Evans and Elsha as well. So she has 2 other people who do help her out. And so as needed, they work as a team. And they also have contract interpreters that they work with to provide services. So finally, we have invested in setting up a full-scale testing center for the South. And one of the big challenges we've had, we've always had the knowledge exam available there, but for the performance, our staff have had to go down there maybe 1 or 2 times a year and offer the test to be available there, but it doesn't feel like it's the same experience that you get north, or the interpreters have to drive from the south to come up and test at the northern center. So, but with this new testing center and new tests that we've developed, and the 3 certification exams, these are all new. They're all less than a year old. We also offer a mock test opportunity for interpreters. So to take a mock test, that would mean an interpreter from the South would have to drive all the way up to Salt Lake to do that. But it's a great experience. It's free. They can sign up to take a mock test. And so we decided it's time to create a full testing room for the South. And it should look exactly as the Northern Center does. So we are hoping to expand more opportunities for the interpreters local to St. George area, so that they have opportunities to take novice, to take professional, or the certified deaf interpreter exam. So that will give them those opportunities without having to be inconvenienced by coming up north. Now, the students at Dixie State University gives them an opportunity who want to become interpreters to have access close by. They can come in and practice and train there. So we're very excited about this new opportunity, and it should be operational once we get all the equipment. I'm still waiting on equipment, which hopefully will happen soon, but just so you know, it is in process and it is happening. And I have one more slide I wanted to share with you. Yeah, there's something going on with technology. If you have to go out, Melanie, and come back in, that's not a problem. Here we go. So with all the 4 areas I just described to you, all the regulations, the service provision, the testing, all of that is done by this group of people. This is our team, and I really call them family. We work together as a family and appreciate all of them for their efforts and all the hard work that they put in. And they are a valued part of our community. And myself as an interpreter and as a deaf person, I just want you to understand and realize that the Utah Interpreter Program really cares about access, and from testing all the way to making sure that we're providing direct quality interpreting services. And I'm excited to announce 2 new job positions. We just interviewed for a new certification assistant who will be part of our administrative team, and we will have for the first time an official posting and advertisement for a full-time certified deaf interpreter. And you may wonder how that's different. For a long time, I worked with the UIP as a deaf interpreter, but I applied through the general interpreter position. So that all it said was state or national certification. So I was able to get my foot in the door, and it was a new position. So this second person, we also have Stephanie, who came in as a part-time deaf interpreter. And so now for the first time, we are advertising for a certified deaf interpreter. So very excited about that. Looking forward to that process. And you should see some announcements for that job posting coming soon. And so get the word out to people that you know that may be interested in that position and working with us. We would certainly welcome that. Thank you, everyone. We'll turn it over to Adam. Unless anybody has questions. Kim has a question. So all those different programs, one second, let's spotlight Kim, if you don't mind. Let's see. Okay, now I can see you. Okay.
Melanie has the spotlight control.
I can see her now. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So this is Kim. So all of those roles and responsibilities that you are managing is incredible, and you do an amazing job. So one area I'm curious about is educational interpreting. I set up an educational interpreting program years ago, so I don't see any place where you mentioned evaluating educational interpreters, but I think that's really critical to make sure that we are training them, making sure that they are doing what's expected in the academic field, not just the community. So we want to make sure that we are elevating their skills. So are there any plans to work with educational interpreters? And Trenton says, sure, I can absolutely answer, at least part. So Utah Interpreter Program, we do have a standard expectation requirement for educational interpreters in our state. It's important to be aware that there are different certifications that allow you to access different areas of interpreting. Our novice and professional interpreters, that is considered general interpreting. So you can interpret in different situations, including educational interpreting. So our certification exam does have some components and some scenarios of the educational process. And again, novice is time limited. They can't continue as a novice forever. They do have to advance within those 4 years to a professional interpreter. So, and it does show whether that interpreter has the skills to be able to work in the community or in the educational setting. We also have there are specific requirements for court interpreters. We oversee that as well. So let me go back to your question as far as educational interpreters, Kim. We do recognize the certification exam. It's the EIPA. Are you familiar with the EIPA exam? And Kim says, not really. And it is an assessment developed by another organization, Boys Town, in conjunction with some other agencies. But that was specifically developed and for academic setting only, K through 12. That's it. Not for college or university settings. So if a person has an EIPA, they can only work in education. That does not allow them to interpret in the community unless they have dual certification, both EIPA and either novice, professional, or national certification. So with the EIPA only, they are limited to interpreting only in the schools. The interesting thing about the EIPA certification is that it's more of an assessment. We do recognize it here in Utah as an educational certification for educational interpreters. So it does satisfy the current law. It does come with a score. It's rated 0 through 5. And I used to be on the interpreter certification board as a board member, and they invited someone to come in and present about the EIPA, explaining the differences in the scores 0 through 5 and what they recommend as a minimum for us to allow them to interpret here in Utah. And the presenter recommended that they have a score of at least a 3, 4, or 5. And we disagreed as a board. We wanted it to be a 3.5 or above. A 3.5 to start, but they must advance to at least a 4 within 4 years. Same idea as a novice advancing to a professional. So they have to start, we feel like a 3.5 is similar skill-wise to a novice interpreter. So we do expect them again to continue training and advancement to be able to improve their score to at least a 4.0 to show that they have the skills to be working in the educational setting. So that's how we work with the educational interpreters. Now, do we teach and train them? Not really. We let the academic programs out there, they offer specific trainings and conferences, workshops, etc., for academic interpreters. And I believe that they have monthly trainings, and the school districts also offer their own in-house training for educational interpreters, as well as workshops. We do have, again, a minimum expectation and standard that we set for them. If they don't advance within that time frame, we can disallow their recognition and they are no longer allowed to work as an interpreter. And Kim says, well, I'm curious, the novice interpreter, educational interpreter, are they qualified to be interpreting in the academic setting? Do you feel like they are ready and qualified to be interpreting? And Trenton says it depends. And I can see Michelle has a comment. Oh, both Michelle and Katie had comments, responses to your question, Kim. And Trent says, I am not the hiring entity. I do not hire for the academic setting. We say that the novice interpreters are allowed to interpret in a variety of settings. And, you know, we do set out surveys as far as where they work, but the hiring entity is the one that decide whether they hire a novice interpreter or not. And that's really their decision ultimately to decide if they are a good fit for our deaf children. I think that's something we could argue, but yeah. And Kim says, thank you so much, Trenton.
We'll switch, Julie. Okay, I know time's been going. I don't want to take all of the time. So, oh, it looks like Michelle has another comment in chat. Yes, yes. Yeah, Michelle's saying there are many opportunities for interpreters to maintain several different certifications. I do agree with that, yes. Looks like Stephen. I had two things to say. As far as for educational interpreters, are they required to show some minimum deaf skills for interpreting with deafblind as well for tactile? And so Trenton, I will answer yes. That is on the list. I have a dream list of things I want to put together. Skills in, some protactiles and tactile interpreting, as well as captions and several other things that I have my dream list of things I would like to work on. So that's one thing we would like to find. We'll get our preferred skills list and our knowledge and work with the deafblind community members as well for putting together some specialized lists of people. And then secondly, I understand novice interpreters have to advance to professional certification, but the concern is that many novice interpreters advance, but when I need an interpreter, they tell me they're professional, but they're not all professionals have a similar skill. So I think if there is a way that they could, UAP could break out their professional certification into different levels for different skill levels, because sometimes I need a different skill level, but the professional certification covers a pretty broad range of skills, and who has that? This is Trenton. That is an interesting idea, and it's a new one, and that could be challenging to break that down a little bit more. I know there's some experience and skills that you don't always see, areas of experience as well. Maybe one interpreter is very good in medical settings, but then struggles a little more in a legal setting. So just categorizing people is not going to be very easy, because they may have, good general interpreting skills, but then not as great of tactile interpreting skills. So that might be a little difficult to classify, but it's a fascinating idea. So something I would have to think more on how we would identify people's strengths rather than just putting them into a rating system, but maybe identifying some more specialties. And then you could request an interpreter with a specialty in whatever area of focus that meets your needs at that time. So, maybe somebody who is very good as a medical interpreter would help you look for that and request that more specifically, rather than just a general professional level interpreter. Really at this point, who knows that is the individuals. And so, maybe people who aren't as strong get sent to appointments that they don't know as well. But I think that is something that you can request from agencies, and they may be able to help at this time. But it's an interesting idea. You said not just for me as a deafblind person, but for in general, just interpreting in general. I'm trying to say, yeah. It's true. Yeah, we would like to see some of that happening, where people aren't as much involved in things that they don't know quite as well. So I think we have Adam ready to jump in. Adam,
Hey, this is Justin. We are short on time. Adam, please keep your comments to 5 minutes if you could. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Hang on 1 second. Oh, I'm losing it. I can't see Adam. 1 second. Here we go. Okay.
Melanie needs to highlight Adam.
Hello, team. Justin, can you spotlight him? I can't. That was Melanie. Justin?
Melanie is the host now. I have no control.
Sarah, I think you have the hosting.
Yep, I'm looking. Hold on. I don't
Thank
know
you.
how it got back to me. So hold on. More add spotlight.
Hey,
There we
Melanie,
go.
I can't do that. So
Did it work?
No, it's on the interpreter.
How? Okay. More.
I see Adam and Trenton.
Hold on. I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on.
Sarah, go ahead and make me host.
I'm going to do that right now. Hold on. I'm getting there. Okay. Make host. There you go. Sorry. I don't know how that happened. There you go.
Okay, where's Adam? Okay.
better? Okay. Am I ready? Okay, so the FMO team, the facilities management and operations for both North and South. In the North, we've got Arlene as the director, and then I report to Arlene regarding things in maintenance and facilities. And then Melanie and Sherry are also specialists in our department. And then in Southern Utah, we have Deanne as the office specialist there, and Judy is also in our department. And Judy actually takes turns, she and Judy take turns different days, Deanne and Judy, managing the front desk. We can move to the next slide. Okay, there we go. So as we know, oh, hang on. Jumping ahead on slides. Okay, so as you know, the last year with the pandemic, and we've been taking advantage of that time to do some remodeling. We refinished the gym floor, so it's repainted and nice. We've shared that with you. We've done some new paint. We've got some new couches and things in, and now all 4, well, really 8 bathrooms are in the progress of being updated. The first they're in the first phase right now. So the shower and the front desk bathrooms are first, and then they're drilling down through the concrete. They made a big hole. They're changing some plumbing. Before, it used to connect into the wall, and they're now changing it where it drains in through the floor. So that should be some better plumbing and have less issues ongoing. We'll have new tile, new stalls, new sinks, new lighting. I'm very excited, and I can show some of that. We also have had a storefront window. I don't know if you're familiar, the glass blocks that we used to have caused a lot of problems with our doors. So we switched that out to brick. You can see here in this picture, that's from the back of the building. There used to be glass blocks in a lot of that wall, and that got switched out to a brick wall. And there used to be 2 doors, a double door there, and it was switched out to one larger door that you can open and close. It's very nice. And then we move to the next picture. The next picture, please. Oh, no, go back. Back one. Okay, there. So you used to have where you could see inside through the glass bricks. So now there's a new wall, and then we'll get that painted soon. They just got the board mudded recently. That's on the way down to the kitchen. That hallway on the way down to the kitchen. If you can now go to the next picture. Perfect. So same thing, before you could see the glass bricks into the courtyard there. So this is kind of near Trenton's office, but it's the outside view in. You can go to the next. Next picture. There we go. And again, another view, outside versus inside. So again, new wall, no more glass bricks, will be painted soon. If we can move on to the next picture. So one more picture. There we go. So this is where the front bathrooms are now. So when you come in, the sliding doors in the front, it's dirty and was noisy for our employees. So we've got everything pulled down and blocked off for the time being. That will soon all come down. And if you can come to the next picture. Okay, so that's what the inside of the front bathroom looks like. Go back. Excuse our technical difficulties, sorry. One more back. Can you go back one more? There we go. So that is what the inside of the bathroom near the front desk looks like. It's a special type of drywall that you can adhere tile on. So that's the most recent. And now if you can go to the next picture. And this is the shower near the gym. So those great big tiles like that, you see the large subway style tiles. And now if we can go to the next picture. And then that is what our new tile flooring will look like. So it's nice, it's pretty. We are very excited about it. It's gone to a contractor and there's been some delays in scheduling. So we hopefully should be caught up soon, and then we can start phase 2, which will be near the lecture hall and the back of the building, those there. So once these are 100% finished and ready, then we'll move on to the other 2 bathrooms. So that's my report. Any questions? Hey Adam, this is Stephen. I'm wondering, will the new bathrooms have some sort of emergency? So if something happens where somebody's locked in and can't get out, there will be some way to notify somebody and they can get out of the bathroom? Adam, I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Really, the bathrooms should never be locked. Do you mind explaining more what you mean? I mean, like if a person happens to go into the bathroom and fall or something, how would they warn anyone? so that maybe there's some sort of like light system or something so that people would know that somebody's had an emergency situation in the bathroom that they could alert people. That is an interesting question, and I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, that's something I'll have to check with our technology committee and see if there are any ideas or suggestions on how to improve that into my next report. This picture just froze for me. Okay. Okay.
This is Justin. Thank you, Adam, for that report. We appreciate it. Glad to see progress is being made in these renovations. Any other questions for Adam? I don't see any. Thank you, Adam. So the next item on the agenda is the director update from Sarah Brenna. She has informed me she doesn't have anything to report today. Does anyone have any questions for Sarah Brenna specifically? Okay.
It looks like there's a chat, Justin.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that.
And since it's up to the council, I mean, we can talk about that next month, or I can, it depends on what you mean by you're curious, Katie, and what your question is. If I can answer it in like 3 minutes or 2 minutes, I can do it. It's pretty quick.
Yeah, no, it's probably a later discussion for sure. I'm just curious about lobbying for rights for children and adults who are deaf or hard of hearing or deafblind. I know our state is kind of unique in how it's set up, but I just would like to see a discussion about, there's current efforts right now for a Let Utah Children Hear bill going through that's kind of been stalled. I'd love to see a Deaf Child Bill of Rights come into play here in our state, which is complicated because of how our state is, but several other states have done that. And mostly my big push for that is communication rights and access for children in the classroom and the community is what I'm looking for. And kind of what is Dsdhh involvement in that or interest in helping with those efforts?
Okay. I think that is a conversation that we should have at the next meeting, because I can talk a long time about that. And there's different roles and hats that we all wear, and it just kind of depends on the issues. UAD is also kind of working through a process right now to provide some training to our staff on, what they can and can't do and which hat they're wearing. And it doesn't mean we can't, it's just, I think, we need to have a discussion about the issues. So I'd be happy to have that discussion. Maybe we can talk a little offline, and then we could have a conversation at the next advisory committee as well, if the other members are interested in that. Because every answer I'm going to give you right now is it depends. And it would be good to have some topics to use as examples.
Okay. Stephen?
So actually I have 2 questions for you, Sarah. Arlene is the director at DSDHH, and then Steve Wynn is at DSBBI. Are they talking about improving services for the deafblind? I know no decisions have been made, but I've been encouraging for them to go to Seattle to see how the deafblind services are managed there. For both Arlene and Steve, to see how things are run and see how deafblind people are actively out and about, so that we can maybe bring some of that model back to run our programs here in Utah. I don't know if if it's in the budget for them to fly into Seattle for a day or two. I don't know what you think on that, Sarah.
I do know that they're looking at different options. I know I've had a conversation with both Steve and Arlene about how to better coordinate and how to work together on providing some things. I can't answer whether, I don't know. We haven't talked about a trip to Seattle. I think that right now our agency is not supporting travel with COVID, but it doesn't mean that, you know, that may not be something we do in the future or that we look at if we need to. But I can tell you that we have had discussions about what we can be doing better, and have some ideas. They have talked to me about the town hall that was hosted and some of the feedback that we got from that. So yes, we are looking at that and getting ideas. And as always, if you have specific ideas, please pass them along, and we'll do what we can. I think that, you know, there's a lot more we can do. So.
Crystal, I'll go ahead and take over. I know that both agency, one serves the deaf and one the blind, but as far as HR, hiring a deafblind specialist, I believe that deafblind, we need someone who has ASL skills and has a variety of skills. Someone that can speak, someone that is knows tactile interpreting. I know that they've talked to Lisa Smith at HR, including that in a posting for the job description. And so, and I believe she said no to that. So I know that there's been some frustration. So maybe we can have a conversation with Lisa about that, that it's not just for deaf. Many states out there are facing the same issues. So we need to include those things, someone that has signing skills, because a deaf blind person cannot speak. So we need someone that has those ASL skills in that position.
Let me quickly clarify. Lisa doesn't say no, that we can't hire someone with those skills. We can't limit it to people that have those skills. So for example, those things are preferences and things that we look for, and absolutely agree with you that they're important. And then after a competitive interview process and we look at everybody's skill set, you know, then we'll select the best person that we think fits the needs. So we're not limiting it. You don't agree?
I've had experience with 4 different deafblind specialists in the last 23 years, and 3 out of the 4 were not skillfully had ASL skills. And so in order for our program to grow, we need somebody that can communicate, someone that allows us access to communicate with them. And so you'll see that in other states, that they all have somebody that signs, that needs to be written into the job description.
Yeah.
I don't want to see our community suffer any longer. We need somebody that has those skills.
Okay, well, we are looking for someone with those skills. You can send me, if you have other job descriptions, if we don't fill this time around, you know, send me the states that have that. We've tried to be pretty, we've tried to really look at what other states are doing before we do this. So, you know, it's also a tough market, but we're going to do the best we can to get someone who knows ASL. Steve very much knows the importance of that, and so does Arlene, and they've shared that with me.
Okay, we'll see what happens in the process.
Okay.
This is Justin. Thank you, Stephen. We are, it is 6:35, so we are out of time. There have been some announcements in the chat from Charla about some HLAA meetings, and from Chip Royce regarding the city of Murray is agreed to provide accommodations for 3 summer musical theater performances. So please reach out to Chip for more information on that, or to give them any ideas about what a reasonable accommodations the deaf or hard of hearing community or deafblind community needs. I believe that's all the announcements. Any last minute urgent things that must come forward? If not, we can discuss them next month at the council meeting. If you have any questions or need something added for next month, please email me. Let's see. Okay, so since we are at the end of the meeting, may I have a motion to end the meeting?
It's just as I move that we close the meeting.
Okay. And a second? Brad and Kim. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Justin.